For those of you who used to like to use Find a Record to help clean up your tree, there's a new program that replaces it called Tree Sweeper, put out by the Family History Library at BYU. I'm not going to take you through all of the introduction and tutorials on it. If you read through, you'll see that there's a lot of guidance about errors and helping you find the mistakes in your tree. But I would just suggest that you go to this address, betatreesweeper.fhtl.byui.edu, and you can see the tree sweeper. And after you've looked at the tutorial, if you want to, then you can click home and it will take you to the actual tree sweeper, and you can start the tree sweep once you've signed in. What is nice about it is that it will go through and allow you to change the number of generations. I found that I didn't have anything in my first 3 generations, and so I had to up it to 6. But once I went to 6, I had all of these different findings that it gave. And the red ones are you've definitely got a problem, and the yellow ones are you possibly have a problem. Anyway, they go through and tell you some errors that you might find. I'll just demonstrate quickly one that demonstrates the use of this program. The first one that I've got that tells me I definitely have a problem is Elizabeth Boswell, and I have 3 definite errors. And so I click on Elizabeth's name, and it comes up and says Elizabeth had her child Isaac S. Allen after she died. That's a problem. Elizabeth had her last child Isaac Allen when she was 91 years old. That's definitely a problem. And Elizabeth and Micaiah Allen had their last child with a recorded birth date after being married 70 years, and that's a problem. All of those, you can see, aren't going to work, and so we know that we've got a mistake built into this person. So I just want to go and see her on FamilySearch, take a look and see if I can figure this out. Initially, right there on FamilySearch are my red icons telling me that I've got a data problem. When I come down to the family, Micaiah and Elizabeth, most of their kids work out nicely. 1800, they were married in 1801, 1800, 1802, 1804. Everything's flowing nicely. 1819, 20, 22, 24, 26. Then all of a sudden, Isaac S. Allen comes up at 1871. And so we know we've got a mistake built in here. I just have to determine for sure, is the mistake that his birth date's wrong and he was supposed to be 1831, or is he attached to the wrong parents? Did somebody discover Isaac, and when they entered him, the computer offered this couple as parents, and they accepted it, and they attached him to the wrong parents? That's what I need to determine. So, what I am going to do is I don't have any sources for Elizabeth, and I don't have any record hints, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Isaac, because I do have 2 sources for Isaac. And so I'll go ahead and open Isaac up, and I'll see if either of those 2 sources is going to help me. The marriage record might tell me the parents, and so I look at it, but it doesn't. It just tells me the spouse and the marriage date. But the marriage date validates that birth date. 1831, he probably wouldn't have been married 60 years later. I mean, he certainly could have been married to somebody, but this makes the birth date that we have more likely, and it validates the spouse that I've got there. Doesn't tell me much else, and if I want to look at the information and see if maybe some parents are listed, I have to actually browse the film, and that's going to be difficult and take some time, so I'm not going to do that. If I go to the United States Census of Isaac, I see when I come down that I've got J. Luella, that's going to be his wife, Jessie L., and I have them born in Iowa, both of them. If I come back up to, before I leave this, father's birthplace for Isaac is Iowa, mother's birthplace is Iowa. So everybody's born in Iowa. If I come back up to Isaac and I look, he is born in Iowa, that makes sense. Jesse is born in Iowa. That makes sense. but Micaiah is born in Maryland, and Elizabeth is born in Virginia. So we know that Isaac has been attached to the wrong parents, and we're just going to have to unattach him. Now, the thing that would be nice is, rather than just cutting him off and leaving him to float out there, it'd be nice to find his right parents. You notice that there are 13 record or research helps, and a lot of them are record hints. I'm going to, rather than look at these, because, well, I'll show you real quickly, most of them aren't as helpful as you would hope they would be, because they're all based around his family. It's got his wife, his children, his children, his children. Here's a find a grave, and that's going to be helpful, but I'm going to show you that same one on ancestry. And this one has, again, wife and children. So even though there's a lot of sources, none of them help me know who the parents are. So I'm going to come back to Isaac, and when I click the ancestry link that takes the information that I have about him and then conducts a search, I see that the first two finds for me, the first two sources, one is a find a grave source that has the right birth and death date for him, and it has a different parent, William Shannon Allen and Rebecca Ann Allen, mentioned. And then if I go to the second source here, I have Isaac, and he, birth year of 1870, which is close enough, but birth place is right. And then the marriage date, 30 August 92. And when you look down here, 30 August 92. So this is the right marriage record for Isaac. And you'll notice that the mother and the father are, again, Rebecca A. Bingaman and William S. Allen. So that we now know who the parents are, and I can go ahead and click on this this find a grave, and I can go to the website, and instead of looking at Isaac, what I'm going to do is look at his parents. And so if I go to William, I've got nice information about William Shannon Allen. And I'm wanting to remember this, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back to Isaac, and I'm going to remove Isaac. I'll come down here to this one. I want to remove Isaac. I want to make sure that he's not here. Oh boy, they've made a mess of this too. So Isaac is, oh, look at this. He's got the right parents here. Oh good, okay, well I'm going to go ahead. I was going to go ahead and attach him to William Shannon from here, but instead what I'm going to do is just click on the pencil, and then I'm going to remove and replace. And I don't want, I was going to replace the person, but I don't have to, because he's already there. So I'm going to remove, and I'm going to say the reason for that being Isaac was too old to be the son of the parents listed. Two sources indicate that he was the son of William and Rebecca. And then I go ahead and remove. And so now I've still got Isaac connected to William and Rebecca, but I no longer have him connected to the to that other one. Now here he is again with a second set, and this is Micaiah again. So I'm going to do the same thing over. I'm going to remove, and this time I'm removing him from Micaiah. And so I'm going to click and remove parents, and I should have copied and pasted that last one, but I'm going to say Isaac was too old, or was born too late to be Micaiah's son. Two sources prove that he belongs to William and Rebecca. And then I remove that. And so now, instead of him having all those assorted different parents, I've got Isaac and Jesse with the right with the right family, and I've cleaned that up. Now, if I were going to keep doing it, and I don't know if I'm related to him anymore or not, yes, I still am, so I probably need to keep worrying about him. I won't put you through it, but you can see that I also have Luella and Jesse need to be merged because he's got two wives that are the same and they were married on the same date. So I need to merge Luella and Jesse to clean up this person page for him as well. But if I refresh the page now, these data problems will disappear, and I've cleaned up everything and fixed that. And so now when I come back to my tree sweeper, this whole mess will be gone, and Tree Sweeper helped me find it.